Dear Ambassador Quarry, distinguished diplomats, friends and colleagues, good morning. It is my privilege and honor to represent the State of Israel as we commemorate International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Today, 72 years ago, Auschwitz-Birkenau, which served as the largest symbol of the pure evilness of the Nazis and their cohorts, was liberated. However, to us, Auschwitz represents not just evil, but the core values of heroism and courage which the Nazis, in their evil, were unable to subdue. The courage with which Chaim Nuhoff sparked the Sonderkommando revolt at Auschwitz-Birkenau in October 1944 by striking an SS commander with a hammer. The courage in which the Jews in Warsaw's ghetto rose up against the Nazis channeled the core values of heroism and courage, not just of the Jewish people, but of mankind as a whole, and proved that we who fight to endure and seek out hope and life will always prevail. It is clear to us today that the Holocaust didn't start in 1939. The Holocaust came about as a direct result of a long-running campaign of verbal and written incitement to searing hatred of Jews. Long before the first camp opened its gates and started gassing and burning, or the first ghetto was populated, Jews were being persecuted in the streets of Europe solely due to the fact that they were Jews. The blatantly racist laws and edict relegating Jews to the status of street animals, such as those passed at Nuremberg, and Jewish stores and synagogues burned to the ground during the infamous Kristallnacht, are only a few examples of the campaign of incitement and hatred which was waged in pre-war Europe. No, the Holocaust did not start in Auschwitz. It started many, many years before. Ladies and gentlemen, the importance of this International Day cannot be overstated. Today we stand together as one, a world of nations, separated in so many ways, but firm in one resolve that the mistakes of history are never repeated. And you know, when I wrote this speech, and in this paragraph, I just thought to myself, I'm thinking so many times how come that in 1944, when the Allies controlled Auschwitz, when the Allies controlled the skies above Auschwitz, they didn't bomb the camp. You know, they could take just 2 airplanes and bomb this camp, and they didn't do it. They could have saved 1 million Jews, or the whole Hungary Jewish community. And today we are sitting here, and just 200 kilometers from us, the Syrian people are being massacred for 5 years, and we all just, you know, we can't help them. The Israeli government gives them humanitarian help, like for 2,000 people who gets to its border, but the international community as a whole just can't help them, and maybe most of the time we just close our eyes. We have united on this day together to seek out hope and life in this face of evil. Incitement to violence, hatred, and bigotry is not just localized problem, but a deep-rooted disease which left unconfronted will destroy us all. Words can be and are just as deadly as bullets and as dangerous as stones. The fact that the world turned a blind eye to the massacre in Syria and chose to denounce the only country in the Middle East which truly holds dear the values of human life is a glaring indicator of the world's double standards and its unwillingness to confront the real force of evil. In the days following the recent anti-Israel decision in the United Nations the Security Council, dozens of Palestinians took to the streets and called to murder Jews wherever they could be found. Soon thereafter, 4 young lives were cut short under the wheel of a truck driven by a cowardly terrorist. A terrorist driven by incitement to hatred, who epitomized the evolving ideology of the modern anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism. And as we saw in the movie, the new anti-Zionism and anti-Israeli hatred is just a new form of anti-Semitism. Although he alone pressed the gas pedal and ran over a group of soldiers and then cycled around to finish the job, the Jews who were murdered are victims of greater world trend of global incitement to terror as an offshoot of modern anti-Semitism. IDF soldiers Shira Tzur, Yael Yekutiel, Erez Orbach, and Shir Haddad are the latest victims in generation of Jews who have been killed just for being Jews. Modern anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism is made up not just of conventional means, but also manifests itself in the BDS movement, virtual terrorism in the form of new media, cyber or press incitement, the legal battle against Israel and IDF soldier and the International Criminal Court in Hague, and sometimes the political battle in the UN. I would like to take a minute to talk about one of these new face of terror, the incitement in the virtual world of social media networks. This is known as virtual incitement and is by nature harder to pin down and more easily camouflaged, and therefore much more difficult to deal with. Our generation is fortunate to be at the cutting edge of the explosive growth of social media, and like previous technologies, social media impacts our lives greatly. However, as we speak, this plowshare is being turned into lethal swords by extremist Islamic elements who take advantage of the technologies and tools of advanced liberal democracies to spread their poisons ideological, recruit new members, and incite to racism, violence, and hatred. This is the reason that the Ministry of Justice, under my direction, has appointed a cyber department in order to support the fight on the virtual battlefield. And I met some justice ministers from your countries, and I think that we all face mainly the same problems and try sometimes even to work together. In 2016, in this year, this department has acted against virtual service providers in the removal of hundreds of pieces of content and even entire page on social media which incite to violence and terror on a nationalistic and religious level. Content which is aimed at Jews because they are Jews and Israelis just because they are Israelis. This is the reason that I have fought for the approval of a new law, target those virtual service providers such as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and allow for removal of such content. Mainly we are working with them on a voluntary basis and it works fine, but we want to actually make it harder and have also a law that force them to remove incitement content. Make no mistake, this cynical abuse of power of virtual world is not just Israeli problem. The war in the virtual arena affects us all, and I would like to call upon you to take action, to be proactive as we have in order to nip this new era of virtual incitement in the bud. For if we fail to act, we will all continue to be subjected to violence and hatred of drastic proportions. Here in Israel, Jews are being murdered because of widespread Palestinian frustration. Here in Israel, Jews are not being murdered because of widespread Palestinian frustration over the stalling of the peace process. They are being murdered because of anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism and incitement to terror, no matter what face it takes on, no matter what twisted justification it feeds off, whether it is in Jerusalem, in Tel Aviv, in Paris, in Istanbul. Terror for the sake of terror. We are fighting on many fronts. We are battling Palestinian incitement, ISIS-inspired mass murder, and Iranian-sponsored terrorism in every corner of the world. And today, classical anti-Semitism is growing worldwide, especially in the United States and Europe. Your Excellencies, now is the time for you and your government to be proactive in the struggle against evil. Join us courageously in seeking hope and life. It is clear today that Israel is not a problem, but a solution. Join us in the war of incitement, terror, and racism, and let us build bridges together to each other. If in the 1930s and in 40s Israel would have existed as a Jewish homeland, there would have been no Holocaust. For this very reason, the Jewish state of Israel must continue to be strong and serve as a place of refugee and homeland for all Jews. Never again will the Jewish people be massacred because Israel is an eternal underwriter of the safety of the security of our people, whether they may be. We must fight those who deny the Holocaust with the same vigor with which we fight anti-Semitism and racism, for this is a crime no less severe. We must teach this generation and the ones which came after it of the Holocaust and its lessons. We must educate our children that words are deadly. Incitement leads to murder. Ladies and gentlemen, let us educate to and channel the values of the heroism and courage, of hope and life, which will serve us together as a tool of victory in our war on incitement to bigotry, racism, and violence. Thank you very much for coming.